We are getting closer and closer to the ashram, aren't we?
Yeah, I can already feel the aura of the ashram. It's a really special place. And I'm waiting very much to see the Master again.
We are so lucky just to be here.
Tera naam Rasamula Ji, जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया
It's the most beautiful thing that I saw.
तेरा नाम रसमुला जी, जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया बंदा करे जो नावाद्वारा रंध्र दसवे में चीता जो तेरा इंद्री मना खोरो कलिया जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया आवत दूर से अनहाद बानी सुनाता जीनी अनंतारे श्रवणी दोन्नयन दनलाया जी जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया
Babaji, we are in this beautiful Sant Bani Ashram in Ribolla in Italy. And, could you please tell us about the history of this place, how it realized?
It's a long story. No. 37 years. I'm living here for 36 years. So, it's a long story. But it began even before, because this idea of creating an ashram was with me since I was a boy, 18, 19 years old. Of course, before I thought about a community kind of thing with a spiritual direction. And actually I began making one when I was in Milan already, when I was 19. Back in 1971, 72. So it was my first experiment with kind of an ashram in a town, or in the outskirts of a town. It was short experience, but meaningful, because I began experiencing with this. So I experienced being together with some friends, living together, plus people that came and went. And we would do every day spiritual practice, getting up in the morning, do yoga, some meditation, live a nice life. But then somehow my father died, had to go away, and this experiment crumbled down altogether because the other people just made it into a mess. So I never went back there again. And in March 1973, I went to India. I met my Supreme Father Kirpal. I got this great boon of immense upliftment from him, through him. And then this idea again of creating an ashram kept being with me. Eventually Master Kirpal died, August 1974. After a year and a half, actually 2 years and a half, I went to see Sant Singh in Rajasthan. With him again, I felt that this was the destiny of my life and this is what I was supposed to do. So I asked him his opinion about it. And he told me that would be a very good service to my soul. That's what he said. This project will be a very good seva or service to your soul. Just literally what he said. So it strengthened in me this conviction that this was my destiny in life. Eventually I got some money because, if you want to do things in this world you need money. You might have ideas, but if you don't have money you can't implement them, actualize them. So anyway, that's what I did. I got this money, inheritance from my father, because he had died back in 1972. He had a house, we sold it, so I got some money. And from that money I bought this place together with some friends. And when we came here the first time, it was difficult to get into the idea of making something out of it, because it was in such a bad shape. And actually I was not really fascinated by the condition of the place. I understood right away that would mean a lot of work to get something out of it. But the location of the place, that's what I liked. That was what I liked. It was very isolated, very peaceful, very nice atmosphere. I intended to, of course, first restaurate it, make it into a living place, and then come to live here. I didn't intend to come to live here in that condition. Anyway, since I had spoken to Sanji about this my idea, this my project, when I bought this place, I wrote a letter to Sanji and I told him, Babaji, we have found this place which I liked, and we bought it. So it's done. What do you think about it? Give us your blessing, something like this. And he wrote back telling that I guess I'm very happy about you buying this place, and I would suggest you to go and live there. So when I read this sentence, I was surprised, because maybe you should have asked me what's the condition of the place, could you go to live there, is it possible at all, you have a job there, can you work, you can make your living, this and that, which is normal, no? You know, I was living in Milan for 17 years. I had my life there, I had my job there, I was making good money. So moving from there, it was not easy. Living a secure situation for going to a place where you don't know what to do eventually to make your living. But I always took very seriously what my masters told me, and also what Sanji told me in that case. I took it very seriously, so he stayed with me. But since in a few months I was going to India, I thought, well, now when I go to India, we talk with him face to face, see what he means by this, you go live there now. So that's what I did. When I went to India, then I had my interview, and I asked him, in your letter you wrote that I should go live at this ashram. What did you mean? He answered, just this, what I said. Just go and live there right now. Again, he didn't ask me, can you make your living? What's the condition of the place? But he had his plan, because he was planning to come on a tour in 1980, and he wanted me to prepare this place for this program. That's what he wanted. He didn't care about having a job, about not having a job, how you make your living, what's the living situation there. He wanted me to prepare this place for a program for him.
Egli rimuova la nostra malattia. Anche questo non è possibile, ricordando cioè lui, non sarà possibile che la nostra malattia venga guarita.
If you want to remove our sickness, we will definitely need a living doctor who can help us.
Se vogliamo rimuovere la nostra malattia abbiamo bisogno di un dottore vivente il quale possa guarirci.
How much he loved us, we'd be dancing in the street. If we knew how much he loved us, we'd be dancing in the street. If we knew how much he loved us, we'd be dancing in the street. Up and down like a child, up and down like a child. I am a child, I am a child of the saint, a child of the saint. I am a child, I am a child of the saint, a child of the saint.
And for my Satguru, who reunites the separated ones. Salute al mio Satguru che riunisce i separati. I have seen the Master who is exactly the way I heard of him. He reunites the separated ones. Ho visto il Maestro che esattamente come avevo sentito dire di lui, egli riunisce i separati. So we are all separated from our real
self, from the truth, the Supreme Being, and we want to reunite with Deep. Quindi siamo tutti separati dal nostro vero sé, dall'essere supremo, dalla verità, e vogliamo riunirci adesso.
Hello, my name is Dori, and I would like to show you around this place where we are now, which is called the Sant Bani Ashram, which is located in Italy, in the Tuscan hillsides, in an area which is called in Italy, in Tuscany, the Maremma, which is, let's say, the wild area of Tuscany, where, let's say, the wildlife is much more untouched and is very near to the sea. And the occasion of this video, of this filming, is that this place, this Sant Bani Ashram, was founded exactly 40 years ago, because now we are in 2019, and this ashram was officially founded in 1979, so now it's 40 years jubilee. So we thought from this occasion to show you this wonderful place. Master Sirio is very good in any kind of handcrafting, that he likes to build things. He's a creator person, and he likes to create, and he very much likes to build up these stone statues or monuments, which he calls as meditators, because if you look them from the distance, they all look like that they have a base, and then like characters sitting in meditation. Coming up the road, we stop by at the parking place. You can see there is the sign of the parking, and I just would like to mention as a detail that is written in English parking and parcheggio in Italian, and we know that it's double G in Italian, but Master says he has this philosophy: do not get lost in details. People understand it because this sign he made it with his own hands, and there was only one G, so he said it's fine like this. We don't get lost in the details, and it's always a good reminder to not get lost in details. I think it's also a spiritual teaching, because whatever a master does, anyway, it should be a teaching if we take it as such. And but I would like to show you that here in the background you can see this structure, this wooden structure, and it shows that the ashram has solar panels by now, which was installed in 2012. So I could say it's a recent thing. It's here since 7 years. So it's also very good because the ashram is producing during the day its own electricity, and also it's contributing to the electric system. So it's very good because others also can be benefited by the electricity that is produced in the Sant Bani Ashram. And here you see another character of the ashram. Let's call them characters. We give personality to the things now in this video. Like a good old faithful friend, the old tractor of the ashram of the master, which he purchased many years ago. The brand is what they say in Italian, Fiat OM. So if you watch from more near, it's written OM in the front of the tractor. So it's very fit for the ashram, a tractor that has the brand OM. We can't do much filming inside because during programs there are always people meditating, the meditation. We wouldn't like to disturb them, but we just look around a bit. This is the dais of the master, where he is sitting during the programs. That's from where he is giving satsang. Actually, this meditation is also very charged up, because almost every day Master is meditating here in the morning, and I just say almost every day because sometimes he's meditating up
That's Sanchi's house up there. It was started to be built in February of this year. The bigger part to the left, a little taller, is Sanchi's room and his bathroom. And the smaller part to the right is a kitchen and a small room for Papu and Gurmel. The whole thing was finished just a few hours before he arrived. The stairs that lead to the front door were finished the same night at about 6 in the morning that Sanchi arrived. At the beginning, when we knew Sanchi was coming for an 8-day program, most of the Sangha thought of renting a residence hotel, summer camp kind of thing, because we didn't think that all these facilities and accommodations would have been able to be prepared in time. But with His grace and mercy, it looks as if most of it has been done, even though there's always something further to be done. We hope that the whole program will run smooth for everybody and that everybody will be comfortable and benefit from the program.
The house actually originally is made of wood. This is a wooden house, and for the anniversary of Sanji's passing away, which happened in '97, so for 2017, Master Sirio decided to make a gift to Sanji, and he himself covered it with stones. So all this house he turned into this beautiful building. It was just a wooden house, and you can see still at the window frames that it's a wooden house. And we went with some sailors. Master was driving the tractor. We got these rocks from along the road. He carried them here. Then he was breaking them, and he was putting every piece of stone he was putting by his own hands, and putting the bricks and everything, and then together with some satsangis, they put this veranda also to make it more complete.
Oh, it's lovely. I came with a group from Malta in 1980, and the ashram, we had just heard about Sanji and that he was coming to Italy, so we were all very excited, really not knowing anything about anything, except that a master had been found after Kirpal had passed away. So we were quite a small group, and we came here, and we were waiting for Sanji to arrive and to fly in and all of that. And the very day that Sanji was due to land and be driven up there, the house was not quite ready. In fact, they were still finishing off the bed that Sanji was meant to sleep in. And everybody was in quite a state, because it was not going to be ready, and he was on his way, and the cars had arrived. Master Sirio was as calm as can be. Everybody else was in a complete state. The bed's not ready, the bed's not ready. Where's Sanji going to sleep? Sure enough, they managed to finish it in time. But it was not like this. It was still very new and fresh and spare. But obviously, this was the Master coming to Italy, coming to Europe, coming to us. It was a little miracle that we had never thought would happen. We had spent 2 years reading all about the path of the Masters, going through Kirpal's books and learning about it, and then suddenly the reality became part of our lives. And really, I have to say that there was this gratitude for Sirio to have presented us with a place in the heart of Europe, if you like, where we could all come and meet and do our meditations and have our satsangs and all of that. So we owe him a lot for that alone, just to have given us a place where the Masters could visit and stay, and we could come and share in all of this. A lot of us did go to India for a few visits, but not all of us could do that. So having this place in Italy made it possible for a lot more people. And today, so many years after Sanji has passed away, my feeling is where Master Sirio is still as important as he was then, because he's still giving us a place where we can visit, come back, refresh, renew, and have all of that. And in the meantime, you know, with his hard work and all his meditation, he's kept it alive for us to be able to come back and just pick into that bit of spirituality that on our own we would never manage to do. So it's like a feeding place as far as I'm concerned. When we're absolutely starved, we know that this ashram is there for us to come back to and go back refreshed and with a lot more courage and a lot more determination to try again and again and again. And I mean, looking at it today, it's just so beautiful. And I'm really very, very grateful to him for making it possible for all of us to share in this life that he has created for himself, but shared with us with a generosity which is wonderful. So that's me.
Welcome, dear Norman, in the Sant Bani Ashram again.
Yes, I'm here again at last. I was here originally in 1989.
1989.
It's a period of 31 years. And so what's interesting for me is to come here after 31 years and see the difference in the ashram. A wonderful spiritual retreat that it is has grown with the grace of the Master. And what a wonderful, beauteous transformation. It's the transformation that's been created by Master Sirio himself with his bare hands. He's worked on this land and worked on what were then very temporary shelters and buildings, really no buildings apart from the farmhouse, but they were marquees and to hold the crowds of people that came to listen to the teachings of those masters, Satguru particularly. And so they were only temporary buildings, and it has become the mission of our beloveds in these wonderful created dwellings, which are a shrine to his Master, but also a continuation of the Master's teachings.
Every retreat is to shake up and change ourselves. So you can see the ashram is also subject to this law, because things do change. We showed to you before that above Sanji's house, above Master's house, there is a so-called outdoor meditation place. There is now, but now this place is completely transformed and it has become something really exceptionally beautiful, which is again a masterpiece of art, because it's done by the hands of Master Sirio, who, as I said before, he's a creator, and he keeps giving us new things. And now we would like to show you this space here, which is a yurta built by us, mainly by the Master who was directing the works. And it's not yet fully final, but it's very beautiful already. So I would like to show you that. Actually, it was not easy to make this yurta, because it was the most difficult part was to begin, because as we said already in 2019 that we planned to make something here, but I mean, if you plan to do something, you have to know how to do it, and we were thinking a lot with the Master how to do it. And then one morning he got a brilliant idea, and that's when we went to order the wood right away. So he made the sides like large frames. So he made like 8 frames, and that's how he joined it together. And then we put this column in the middle and these beams for the roof. And now it seems like trivial, but at the time, before beginning to do it, implementing the work, it was not so trivial, because then it had to be a strong structure, stable and nice looking and well done. This yurta, as you can see from outside, it's under an oak tree. So a huge oak tree gives shelter to this meditation shrine. But why is it important? What I wanted to say is that when Sanji came here in 1989, there was made a place for him to come out to have breakfast here. There was a table and chair for him. So he came out here and had breakfast under this oak tree, where now we are having meditations. It's such a fantastic atmosphere. We are just like in the nature. You can hear the birds, the bees, maybe the bells of the goats. And it's just like becoming one with nature, with the universe. It's really beautiful.
Beginning of July, I was ready to come to live here. So that's what I did. I left my job there in Milan, I left my house, my family, and I came to live here. All alone. In summer was nice. It was July, as I said. And I began working on the building. We had done already some work. We had prepared a room so that I could live in a let's say, living place, acceptable living place. So one room was ready for me to live in and half ready. But the rest was, all to be restaurated. So for the next 8-9 months, starting from July up to May, when Sanji actually came in 1980 here, I kept working and working and working, maybe sometimes 10, 12 hours per day. Then from the summer you shift into autumn and winter. It was a very cold winter. I didn't have any equipment really to face the winter because you need to warm up a place, but there was no electricity here, there was no water supply, there was nothing really. It was like a pioneer life. To get some water, what I did is, with a pick, kind of a hole, I dig a hole, maybe a cubic meter deep. There was a spring of water. So that was my source of water. I would go there with buckets, maybe 100 meters away from my house, from the house. And I would pick up water with buckets, and that's what I was using. I didn't have a toilet, so nature was my toilet. It was an interesting experiment of life. Sometimes it was very tough because I came from an apartment, living in an apartment in Milan. It was, apartment, it's an easy life, but you have everything for your comforts. But here there were no comforts whatsoever. It was just a harsh, hard life. But I faced it, and it was difficult because I was not used to this kind of life, as I just saying. And being alone, all this work to be done, many disappointments, things which wouldn't work. You would do something and it would crumble down and do it again, and so many adversities. But I kept going. My friends Satsangis, sometimes they told me, but my God, how can you go on like this? You just go back to Milan, it's not going to work, this project, that's all. But I didn't care about their opinions. I only cared about what my Sadguru told me to do. And I just wanted to obey and stick to his advice. Or I could say order. So I went on and on and on. There were plenty of olives. There were 90 trees at the time of olive trees. So that year, as a gift from the Supreme Sadguru, I got to harvest all these olives, make quite an amount of oil, get a good amount of money. Satsangi helped me to sell this oil, which I made, and get the money to go to India. So by the time we arrived in end of December, I knew that there was going to be a program in Bombay with Sanji, and I didn't intend to go there. I just wanted to go to Rajasthan for 10 days and come back and keep going with the work. But one morning I sat down in meditation, and the order came from within that you go to Bombay. So I thought, oh, surprised. I was surprised. But anyway, I took it seriously. It was very clear something that came from within, so I always took very, very seriously the messages that came from within. So I somehow managed to get a good flight to Bombay, and another person joined me. So we went together to Bombay. There was this program, and the funny thing is, when I arrived at the place, the first person I met was Russell Perkins, who was the organizer of these Western programs for Sanji. And he told me, oh, very good that he came, because I'm preparing the program for Sanji's tour this next spring, and I wanted to know if you intend to invite him to Italy. And I said, of course, we intend to invite him to Italy. Then I was taken to have darshan of Sanji. He was in a room with some Indian people giving darshan. So I was taken into the room by maybe Papu, I don't remember now exactly. So I sat there, I greeted him with all my love and devotion. And the first thing he asked me was, how long do you want me to be in your country? And I just answered, oh my, as much as you want, it can be there always. So he laughed and he said, well, talk with Russell and organize the whole thing and I will come. So you see, he had his plan. And so I had a very beautiful program in Bombay, full of love, full of beautiful inner experiences. I was always at my peak when I was with my Satguru. And then I went to Delhi with him. He was sitting in front of me, he gave me prasad. He would turn back and give me prasad. And he really showed me so much love.
I feel here a freedom which I cannot explain it with words. It's a spiritual freedom, it's a freedom of the soul, it's really amazing.
Sant Bani Ashram for me is like heaven on earth. I think I would say it's my favourite place.
You retreat from the world, the normal everyday world that you live in. You retreat from the noise, the hubbub, the turmoil, the strife that's going on in the world. You just get away from it for the entire period of time that you're here.
Becoming more aware of reality and truth. What is life? What's the purpose of life? And what are the important matters in life? So, now we are up on the road and let's see what surrounds us. You could see while I was walking up that on the two sides there are olive trees. These also belong to the ashram. So the ashram has its own olive trees, its own biologic, obviously, of course, biologic, organic, bio, olive oil, extra virgin, cold pressed. So it's a really nice quality, very nice oil what we produce. And also I would like to mention that for me what is very impressive regarding the Sant Bani Ashram in Italy, that it's the creation of Master Sirio, and everything bears the imprint of his hands. And he is a very creative person, he's a very hardworking person. You know, he's not that kind of master or guru who is just sitting and give blessings. Because I must say that he's taking part in all the works. He's the leader of all the works here. So he's pruning the olive trees himself with the help of some satsangis. He's taking part in the harvesting of the olives. So this is a really very special olive oil that is produced here in the Sant Bani Ashram. And then what we can see behind us is one of our dormitories, one of the dormitories of the ashram. And this house, it's according to the condition of 1989, what we can see in the documentary, this is a new something, because this house was built more or less in 2002-2003. Because before here there used to be a barn, like a big tent, let's say, where Sanji was giving a satsang in 1989. So it was just like a barn. And now it's a beautiful stone house, and this veranda was built in 2015, and this also is built from the wood of the ashram, and of course by the own hands of Master Sirio, of course with the help of some strong sevaders. So it's I always say about this veranda, it's a real masterpiece of art because it's made by the master. You can see also he likes to, he's a very creative person. He's not just hardworking, driving a tractor, building up monuments. He has a very creative mind. That's why I said in the beginning he's a creator. Because you see he puts all these decorations on the veranda made from the olive branches. That's the beauty of this ashram. It's a unique place. It's like a jewel. And before I said, don't get lost in the details, but if you observe the ashram in all the details, they all speak in themselves about something. It's a place really to be discovered, and anytime people come back, they find something new to discover. Hello boys, may we come in?
Yes, come in.
Thank you. We would like to see what are you doing. How is the life going on here in the boys' house? As you can see, the dormitory is divided into two spaces, like two rooms, and there are two bathrooms. And here we find Yoshi Ji doing seva, editing the videos.
Hello,
Yoshi.
hello.
How is the work going on?
It's okay, everything is in the...
What are you working on?
I'm just editing a video of yesterday's satsang of the master, just to be ready to be published soon to the internet, to be able to see by everyone.
Good. So, thank you, Yoshi.
Thank you.
It's a very nice place. It's got a good atmosphere. These boys must do lots of meditations with the master. So, let's go to see other places.
The new house with the langar just by it, and in the back we have the big white langar tent where we're all eating. The house here in the forefront gives housing to some of the most elderly people because it has more comforts and bathrooms and showers with hot water.
The first time when I saw the master, it really touched my heart. He really radiated an immense love, and for me it was a really emotional something. When he started to sing, I had a very big urge to cry, but I hold it back because I was a little bit ashamed to cry in front of everybody. But it really touched me really deep inside.
For me it was something very unique in that way that I have seen a lot of teachers and a lot of so-called masters, but with him was something different in that way that the first meeting with him was like he was emanating something. In him I've seen that he's not just talking about things, he really living it. He's every moment in that state what he's talking about.
Én Sirio mestert ismertem régebbről, mint az olaszországi képviselőnket.
de amikor megláttam hosszú évek után, azonnal éreztem, hogy ő egy igaz mester, és úgy éreztem, hogy ő kirpászing.
I've recognized in Sirio my own master's teaching, my own master's work. He's helped me such a lot. Amazing. If I could, I would live here, Dore.
I understand.
Yes, because of his influence and his love, I really have found my path and my way. And in him, I'm very, very grateful. You know, it's sort of like helped me such a lot, far more than what I ever expected. Far, far more.
The moment I saw Sirio, I just burst into tears, and it wasn't just the darshan was similar to a jive's. It was the way it made me feel inside was the same as the jive had done.
I remember that there were two lines of chairs, so there was like a corridor in between, and the gadi was made in the front, and the disciples of the masters, they were sitting in the front, so we sat down somewhere in the front, and the master arrived from the back, and he had to pass in between the two line of chairs to go to the front, and as he entered, everybody began to turn back, and I also looked up, and just as he passed by the row where I was sitting, he glanced at me, and just this glance, it was like an explosion in my heart, like such a huge fire waking up in my heart, and I was really amazed, like I didn't know how to handle the situation.
I experienced such a great feeling of bliss and expansion and love, and it was a love that I was really not used to feel. I remember just about 2 weeks that I was in a just great state of hallelujah, and everything the whole world seemed so beautiful, and I knew that this was the truth.
És pont a születésnapom volt, és úgy éreztem, hogy ez egy jel, és csak ez az igazság, semmi más, és első pillanattól kezdve nagyon megszerettem őt. Azóta járok a retreatekre, szatszangokra, folyamatosan csodálatos élményeket kapok, egy fejlődésben van részem, ami mind a fizikai testtel kapcsolatos, mint a mentális és a szellemi síkokkal. Csodálatos élményeket kapok, nagyon sok segítséget az életemben, és olyan gyönyörű így az élet a mesterrel, hogy fogalmam se volt róla, hogy egyszer ilyen boldogságban lehet majd részem.
Mi è capitato di incontrare poi Sirio attraverso mia figlia Chiara, che seguiva già da quasi un anno la Satmat, e appunto ho cominciato a seguire la via, ed è stata un'esperienza, come potrei dire, inebriante, nel senso che non me l'aspettavo, era un periodo in cui ero abbastanza tranquilla nella mia vita, quindi non cercavo un aiuto, non cercavo nulla di particolare, pensavo di essere abbastanza appagata di quello che facevo. Quando è arrivato questa esperienza così inaspettata e anche prorompente, direi, e chiaramente mi ha cambiato la vita in qualche modo. Ho cominciato a vedere le cose da un altro punto di vista, le cose diciamo materiali che prima potevano gratificarmi, soddisfarmi, non mi interessavano più di tanto, e ho cominciato questo percorso. Dopo circa un anno ho avuto l'iniziazione, ormai è dal 2009 che seguo la via e non la lascerò più, perché effettivamente anche se poi ci sono state, come nella vita, dei momenti magari di stanchezza, di difficoltà, come in tutti i momenti della nostra vita, è sicuramente un'esperienza unica e è un percorso per me molto lento, che poi si fonda anche con quella che è la vita di tutti i giorni, nel senso che poi la vita di tutti i giorni ritrovo questo cammino che faccio, e lo ritrovo anche nella quotidianità. è un percorso di evoluzione, quindi è una lotta continua con se stessi, nel cercare di migliorarsi, nel cercare appunto di evolvere, di cambiare le proprie limitatezze, i propri difetti, quelli che ci tengono legati, diciamo, al corpo fisico. E quindi è un lavoro continuo, quotidiano, per cercare di cambiare. I ritiri sono importantissimi perché sono un momento in cui ci si ferma e si riceve tantissima grazia, e questa grazia è una forza che ci permette poi di poter affrontare la quotidianità insomma.
Sirio mesterrel 2012-ben találkoztam először Budapesten egy nyílt program alkalmával, amikor egy koncertet és egy előadást tartott arról a spirituális ösvényről, amit Szanvatnak hívnak, majd ezt követően volt egy meditációs ülés is, ami nagyon megragadott, nagyon megtetszett, majd ezt követően 2 hónapra rá körülbelül volt egy különleges élményem, melynek hatására azonnal egyik napról másikra vegetáriánussá váltam.
Mi ha trasformato completamente. Io pensavo di essere una persona normale, insomma, come tutti quanti pensano, come ognuno pensa di sé, ma mi sono accorto che con la sua vicinanza adesso che ho provato la sua presenza era una nullità. Pensavo tutto quello che facevo era fatto bene, invece non era fatto bene proprio per niente. Insomma, devo ringraziare a lui di questo cambiamento, mi ha dato forza, mi ha dato coraggio, mi ha dato intuizione, mi ha dato speranza, mi ha dato conoscenza, mentre prima ero un nullo, come ho detto prima.
It was just I fell in love for the first time, and it was 12 years ago, and now I came. So I try to attend on every satsangs. I try to come in every possible way to the retreats, and my life totally changed during these 12 years. So I'm very thankful for Babaji, for this all experiences.
I can tell that I had a really nice and beautiful inner experiment. So meditation in peace and a joyful state of mind, and so I am more quiet and more peaceful now.
Here everything is very bright, and it's full of light, and I see in every part of the ashram the hard work of the master, what he did since a long time, and I always feel here that it's possible to realize the complete being of human being.
The location of the ashram is absolutely fantastic in the rolling hills here in Tuscany. But the most important thing is the atmosphere that's been created here by Master Sirio. The buildings, the surroundings, etc., would mean nothing without the Master. I can strongly recommend that if anyone has a spiritual, or is seeking a spiritual path, to come along to the ashram, to one of the retreats. It is amazing, absolutely an amazing place.
Savan kirpal pyare darshan dikandre kyo nahi. Savan kirpal pyare darshan dikandre kyo nahi. Fir संसार सारा मिलया ना कोई सहारा फिर आ संसार सारा मिलया ना कोई सहारा सोना जो नूर लाही सोना जो नूर लाही सबनू दिखांदे क्यों नहीं सावन के पाल प्यारे दर्शन दिखांदे क्यों नहीं.
So I remember we were waiting for Sanji to arrive, and we had a blanket on the grass with the children sitting on that side.
That was just a barn, wasn't it? It was just a barn.
Here, yes. So we were sitting over there
on the hill there.
On the hill, and then the two cars came in with Sanji in it. Everybody was waiting along the drive, and we were just, the children were staring because, of course, this is the first time they've heard so much about Sanji. And then we saw him, and as Rita said, he would come down the stairs afterwards from up there, and we would have satsangs with him, listen to him, and get his darshan as he walked by. So that was a moving experience for us and for them as well.
Sanji came, and the whole atmosphere was boosted up so much. It was so charged up by the time he came. It was just amazing. People were very happy. It was very muddy everywhere, but it didn't really matter because we were kind of spaced out in this blissful state because of his presence.
For anybody, even if they get one chance in their lifetime to come here, then it's a chance they should take and use all their resources available to them to come and experience just being in his presence. Just even if it's for a day, even if it's for an hour or a minute, because if you have the good fortune to meet a master in your lifetime, it will change them forever.
When I see the Babaji, I just feel really amazing. And then after that, I sing a one Shabbat, and I felt really good. So I spent 2 days in that place. Then I came back to my city. Then after I really missed that time. But suddenly now Dori, they make a plan, and once she sent me a message, so they are coming to India. And then the moment was, I'm really excited to meet Wu. I get another chance to meet everyone, to meet Babaji, to Dori, and rest of others all. I'm really first thankful to Dori. She gave me a chance to meet the Babaji, and they come here to 29th of July, and then we have a really amazing day in a Babaji. Next day we celebrate, on 30th of July, we celebrate the Baba Saman Singh Maharaj's birthday to my uncle's home, and that day is really good. And then Babaji gave us some small satsang on that day, and I felt I'm just worked like I to translate in a Hindi. So that day Babaji tell us about when they met to Master Kirpal and how they feel, what they see the light on his eyes. So it was really good for me, because I couldn't find the words of how to translate these words, and it's really good. It's really good. It's just when I'm talking about that moment, I just feel like some waves or some air, so touch in my body. And then after we went to Kumana, and that the moment it's really unforgettable for me. Is the Babaji singers one bhajan over there, and I just felt like all my body is in air. I just all body have waves inside.
Some kind of radiance, some kind of aura, which was reminding me of my own master. And what he said was very hard going, and he was not pressing anybody to do
some special things or to act in a certain way. He was just explaining how to lead a spiritual life.
I find he's very approachable, and he feels kind of normal, whatever that means. And what I mean by that is that he is approachable, and he's a very lovely, genuine being, and I'm very grateful to him and for the wonderful work he is doing for the people on this planet.
He is a humble, practical teacher, and he teaches servitude to humanity, which we have benefited from that immensely.
It's a spiritual paradise. Of course, it contains the Master Sirio, and he controls the environment and spirituality of the place. So it's a wonderful opportunity that I've really enjoyed.
The essence of this place is the peace, the beauty, the divine connection to nature, following which gives you that inner peace to achieve higher communion and union, which we're all hoping and aiming for, and some, like the Masters of course, are completely in tune with it. And so our aim is to be in tune with the infinite.
I will never give up, because I find my master. This place is the place where I feel so good. Okay, is all.
I must say that during all these many years, from time to time, I had very intense meditation retreats, very intense periods of Simran. And when I had these periods, I always had this, I always was shown from so many sides that I was to continue to do the work of my master after he left the body. You may believe it or not, but that's how it was, and that's how it is. So, I always refused it, because I really didn't want to, even being a representative of my master for me was too much of a job. Because I always like to be a free man, not bound to anybody and by anything. But that was my master's will. So eventually in 2001, I was invited in Budapest to give a program there, to hold a retreat there. So I went there, and I must say that during the 4 days that I was there, 4 or 5 days, I don't remember exactly now, it was not me. I felt to be Santa Jive Singh all the time. It was like he was living in this body, and he was doing everything. That's how I felt it. That's how I lived it. Then I came back, and on the plane I had a samadhi kind of state, very blissful state, and then I began feeling that I had to go through a very intense meditation retreat. So one afternoon I was sitting under a oak where I used to go to meditate at the time, and came this, my consciousness was very uplifted, and I was shown, I would say 360 degrees, that I had to go through this 3 months meditation retreat. So I promised that I would do it, and I did it. For 3 months, I just meditated all day long. That's all I did. My consciousness was very uplifted. The whole place was transformed. Not only me, but Irena, my wife, she felt the same. She helped me a lot through this. She let me do it. She cooperated. she understood there was a very important something, it was God's will, she cooperated. So that's how I went. I went on for 3 months meditating all the time. And then it became more than clear that this is what I want. I had to do, and this is what my master wanted me to do. So up to that point I had always refused doing this, but then there I accepted and I promised that I would do it. So that's the history of this ashram. It has been growing with me. Those who come here, they have a clear perception that this place is such a blessed place, beautiful and very blessed, with such an incredible atmosphere. So I can say that Baba Savan, Satguru Kripal, Santa Jive, and my spirit are all pervading here. We are spread everywhere. And what you feel when you come here, it's our presence. The blessing that we get comes through us. It's a definite thing. You may like it or not. You may think I am arrogant. It's your business. This is the reality. This is the truth. God bless you.
Thank you.
तेरा नाम रसमूला जी जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया मंत्र गुरु वाक्य अंतर सुमिरे शांत चित्ता मान एकाग्रदारे जंत्र शब्दा बजाया जी जिन्होंने स्वदा लिया
Good night.
Good night.